Today, we're going to be talking about networking. Usually, people say, "Oh, I went to a networking event. I did this, I did that. I'm looking for a job." LinkedIn, the whole 9 yards, right?
Mhm.
What is networking?
Well, networking basically we know it's like interacting with people, trying
Mm,
to exchange knowledge, ideas, get to know people in return for people to also help us.
mm.
Often that is the idea, but I mean, most often we go in there, talk about ourselves, also want to listen to people and also see what they have for us and what we can do for them. Basically, that's what I think networking is about.
So, is it a way of connecting with people?
Basically, yes, and sharing ideas.
Let me go
Okay.
to Kojo first. Kojo, what is networking?
So I think it's right
Mhm.
there in the title. Building that contact book. To me, that's basically networking. Last week in our conversation, we said you have to leave college with a contact book and a degree. Networking is the act of getting numbers and contacts in that contact list. Simply put, right?
Yeah.
My cousin Vinny and anybody who has seen any Italian
Yeah,
movies,
yeah.
I know a guy. Networking is basically knowing a guy or knowing someone who can do something. You
So
know,
you know a guy that knows a guy that knows
absolutely,
another guy. Okay,
absolutely,
okay, okay.
absolutely. So if it's getting new tires for your car, knowing
Uh-huh.
someone who can get you the deal.
Chrissy, I could
Hmm.
just say something and I want to ask him, right? When
Yeah,
you
go
say
ahead.
building contact books, that's what a lot of people think, right? But
Hmm.
I think there's a difference. Some people just want to have the contact for having contact sake. People have the contact, but they can't get people to do
They
what they
don't
need
use
them
it.
to do.
Mm,
Not
mm.
use them. There's this kind of networking where when you take the
Mm-mm.
phone and then you ask, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get to it for immediately. And then there's one that, okay, let me see what I can do. I
Okay.
feel like there's a difference there.
I guess that's what we're going to be talking about, right? How you
Yeah.
build that contact list, right? There are different ways of populating your contact list, and networking, and what we're going to be talking about in the
Mhm.
entire episode is going to get into that. But it's all about what you bring to the table, who you become in your contact book. A lot of people think it's all about the names you put in and who you put in. It's who you become in that book.
I like where
Mhm,
this is going. I
mhm,
have a
mhm.
question. Is it a skill? Is networking a skill? Do you need a skill to be a good, like, a effective networker?
So I
Instead of
think
calling it a skill,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I think it's an art.
Okay,
It's
okay.
a carefully curated art. It's just like a
Hmm.
dance.
Hmm.
Every bit of it, all the moving parts have to be perfected to come together, right?
Hmm.
To be able to deliver networking. And I think we even have an episode on that, the art of connecting. Networking is a bunch of different skills: charisma, charm, your communication,
Yeah.
your delivery,
Hmm.
delivering on, like, to be a good networker, right? You have
Hmm.
to get yourself and get your skills perfected to that point where you almost become like a martial artist, deliver on the things you
okay.
promise. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to be here on Sunday and I'm going to punch you in the face. You have to be there on Sunday and execute that. That is what networking becomes. You have to be able
Okay.
to deliver on the things you promise. Else you're not networking. You're just, picking up what's this thing called?
The business cards,
Business
right?
cards. A lot of people go
Yeah.
about collecting
Uh,
business cards, but they are not networking. And there are people who are
yep.
really networking. They might not even have business cards, but they're really networking.
If you do you agree with what you're saying? What do you think? Do you
Yeah,
think it's
I
a skill or you need skill setting skills together? Put them together to network. What do
I
you think?
mean, he said it, he put it well so perfectly, right?
Hmm.
So you could be a great communicator, but you don't have the charm and
The
the
charisma.
charisma to move things about. Like it's a lot of things that put together to make it work.
Mm.
Because
Mhm.
again, you are dealing with people and they don't just look at one thing, they look at a lot of things, they look at a lot of factors.
The way you look, the way you sound, what you're saying. What is it? What do you
Yeah,
when you
how
say factors? Like,
what you saying, how you say it, how you
mhm,
look. Why the need to even help? Have you given them a reason to really want to help? You
mhm,
don't also just go in with, oh, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Most often, right, the people well, I can't talk for everybody. The people I connect with are mostly people that are ahead of me, right? So
mhm,
often it's like there's nothing I can bring to the table, right? Aside me telling you,
uh-huh,
oh, well, let me just give an example. If you're connecting with someone that is a bit ahead of you, let's say in career, professional, whatever,
mhm.
most often the person doesn't really need much from you. So for me, what I do
Oh,
is I lay whatever I have on the table.
Real quick, I think AY did something, and I don't want us to miss that. She stated the very first principle to network. Know who you're connecting with. You can't just go about meeting people. You have to get ready for the meeting. And one of the ways to get ready, research them. And she said something, you go to them with a question. It's always the smartest way to connect with people. If someone has written 500 articles on a topic, read at least a couple of them, go there and ask pertinent questions. Well, in this thing, you encountered this problem. How did you overcome this? How did you come up with this solution? That is a very good way to network. And you can't do that without preparing. You can't just stumble in front of Bill Gates and expect to network.
If you're listening to us, it's Sunday Fun Day. This is a Casa podcast.